Folks, hello and welcome to Tavern Chat. I'm your host, Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR. By the way, before we delve into today's bonus video, because there's a live stream tonight at 8 p.m., Gamers Health, me, my wife, Rach, so you don't always get a pre recorded video on Saturday, but I thought this was time concerning, and it should be reported on pretty much almost as soon as I found out about it. But there's a link in the bottom of the screen. 10 cards there. It's tavern.games/Witcher. It'll actually take you to Humble Bundle. There is a Witcher and Cyberpunk 2077 graphic novel bundle if you're into graphic novels and comics. If you're into The Witcher, if you're into Cyberpunk 2077, this might be a cool thing for you to check out. This is how you can support this channel. Humble Bundle, drive through, engage in the ads that what is it? YouTube puts up. That's like, I don't know, $1 or $2 a day. But this is what you can do to not just help this channel, but help yourself. All right. It's good products. Humble Bundle is a great service. I really do enjoy what they offer. So, what do we got on the screen? Well, this is from Wizards. This is FAQ. Generative AI Art FAQ, or FAQs. This was sent to me last night, so I figured let me get it up and start looking at it. Recently, this is WotC. Recently, we've had a few occasions where art used in marketing and game pieces have been publicly scrutinized, fair enough, including for the possible inclusion of generative AI. Okay, that's kind of a nice way to say that we fucked up and allowed AI art into our products, but okay, we'll get past that. During this time, we've made mistakes while at the same time have also seen artists and their work misidentified as problematic in a variety of ways. To that end, we're sharing an FAQ of facts that addresses how we assess and respond to generative AI concerns with art commissioned for both Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons. Both before and after it has been published, generative AI is a constantly evolving space, and this facts will be revised and on an ongoing basis to reflect what we are learning alongside everyone else. What are your policies around art? Both brands have their own artist handbook. These are not public documents, but every artist who works with us is given a copy and is expected to stick to the guidelines. The core of our policy is this: Magic and D&D have been built on the innovation, ingenuity, and hard work of talented people who sculpt these beautiful creative games. As such, we require artists, writers, and creators contributing to the Magic the Gathering, TCG, and the D&D tabletop RPG to refrain from using AI generative tools to create final Magic or D&D products. We've made a few. By the way, they're not saying it's not a tool that can be used during the process. The final results can't have AI, but if you're using AI to give yourself some writing ideas, they're not saying that's a bad thing. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying they're leaving some wiggle room there. We've made a few other statements publicly as well, including 2 recent statements on our policy on generative AI art and Magic the Gathering products. And then they link it. And by the way, folks, I'll include a link to this in the show notes, please, as well as similar statements from Dungeons and Dragons. Okay. What tools do you have in place to detect generative AI usage? We are regularly evaluating resources we could use to help us detect generative art. It is important to us that we continue to have a human in the loop regardless, especially since these tools are quite new. In other words, they don't have a way to tell for sure whether something is AI art or not. And by the way, and then I tell you what tools they're using. How will you handle a situation where a piece of art has been used has used generative AI and it wasn't caught by your internal processes or tools. The investigation process is much the same. We gather whatever information we have from reports, both private and public. We re review the art, we rerun our tools, and we circle back with the artist who created the piece. Often, if public discourses were a credible violation of our art policy was first discovered, we may make a statement. What does that mean? It means that if it hasn't reached the public, you're probably not going to hear about it. Think about it, all right? If it hasn't made it to public discussion, you're probably not going to hear about it because they're saying if it's public, we may make a statement. It's another way of saying if it's not in the public, we're not going to make a statement. Why are you not being transparent about AI use? We try to be as transparent as possible, but not at the cost of people's privacy or livelihoods. Our artists put themselves and their names out there with every piece they produce, and our priority is going to be protecting their privacy whenever possible. This means that not all public discourse and generative art, AI art use is going to result in a public statement by us. But it's also most likely that if it isn't public, there will be no statement. That said, we have been and will continue to be clear that we do not allow the use of generative AI in our art. Wow. Okay. While detection can be difficult and the lines blurry, we are working hard to make sure our art is made by the talented humans who have delighted our fans for decades. They're not touching here upon the writing. That's just an observation by me. Maybe it doesn't mean anything. I'm just saying. And I know most of the AI stuff right now is focused on art. Piece of art sure looks like an AI to me. Why are you not doing something about it? We may not respond to online discourse about AI art for a variety of reasons, including but not limited to. Our investigation revealed that there was no generative AI used. Protect the privacy of one or more individuals. The investigation was inconclusive. On my job, we would call it unsubstantiated, can neither prove nor disprove. We made internal changes, such as declining to work with an artist further, but did not publicly comment. Our preference is to handle the issue and the artist relation internally. So, folks, those of you that are looking for the drama, those of you that are looking to know every time the AI pops up into this process, you're not going to hear about it. When that is not possible, our goal is to be clear and concise and hopefully prevent further churn on the issue, both for the artist in question and for us, which tells you too. They don't really want to discuss AI art. It seems like you no longer work with blank artist anymore, but you haven't said anything. Why not? Working relationships with artists can change for a variety of reasons. Everything from a decision by an artist to move in another direction to our evolving styles not matching up. Sometimes artists don't make art for Magic for years before coming back. I read that other Hasbro brand is using generative AI or will use generative AI. Why is that different from Magic and D&D? Hasbro has a vast portfolio of 1,900 plus brands, of which Magic the Gathering and D&D are two very important cherished brands. Each brand is going to approach its products differently. What is in the best interest of Trivial Pursuit is likely quite different than that of Magic the Gathering or D&D. Is there one takeaway I should have from this facts? What should it be? Human beings are fallible. Whether it's a conglomeration of human beings like a company or a single human being like an artist. In the tension between perfection and transparency, we have erred on the side of transparency. As stated throughout, we have been consistent in our position with respect to generative AI in Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons art, and we want our community to know that we are working to ensure they can see us deliberating on how best to meet that commitment, even if we all occasionally stumble along the way. Again, to me, this is telling you that they are honestly going to do their best not to discuss this with you. And that's fine. That's their business, right? But I'm sure there'll be a lot of discussion of potential AI art in the communities that follow all this, as well it should be. All right, folks, tonight, 8 p.m. on this very channel, Game with Health, me, my wife Rach, we discuss our health, our struggles, our ups and downs, and we usually have a topic for the evening that we address. So, on that note, hopefully I'll see most of you tonight. Be safe, be well. God bless. Roll this dice, roll them well. I'll catch you all later.